Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. I garden in Zone 8B in coastal North Carolina, right in the bottom corner. Gardening is a labor of love, as we all know, and I am super proud of a lot of the gardening projects that I have completed in my yard. But what I'm going to show you today, oh my gosh, just had me giddy from the moment I thought about doing it and the whole way through. So my reveal today is super fun. It is like my passion project within my gardening, which is already my passion project. So I can't wait to show you my private secret garden. So what exactly is a secret garden? As I'm sitting here right beside my pool, if I had a friend sitting with me, they can see the line of trees and the vegetation right here. I like to call that my poolside garden. So you can see the banana trees and all of that, right? But what you can't see is what makes this next part magical to me. Welcome you guys to my secret garden. We are nestled in between my poolside garden and my fence line over here. No landscaping existed back here in this way before this year. In fact, we rented a sod cutter back in April and took all lawn out of here just in April. Since then, while I've shown you little bits and pieces of this project, including this boardwalk here, I was careful not to reveal all the other things that I had going on. I have been so busy planting and adding and just thinking about little details that I wanted to put into this garden because it just felt so special. And anyone that has talked to me during the time that I've been working on this project knows just how childlike giddy I've been over it. Let me show you what I have going on in here. So as I said, I have made all of this possible still sticking to a major budget. I had made a video back in the fall that was giving tips about ways that we can garden and expand our gardens, but sticking to a budget. And some of those ways are dividing up our own perennials and adding them into different places in our landscape, making sure we're buying on sale or clearance, looking for deals, DIYing as much as possible. Those things and more all made this possible. Starting things off right at the start of the pathway here, I've shown you these plants before, and these are all things that I've had in my garden before. The bougainvillea and the lemon coral sedum that are in that pot right there, they were in that same exact pot last season. I overwintered them and they are back out for me again. Canna lilies for me are perennials, so I did not have to overwinter anything. This guy was actually in the ground and I just dug him out and added him into this pot here. But this pot was in existence last year as well, and I have this yellow diplodenia here, and I actually have some elephant ears, darkly colored elephant ears in this pot as well. Same deal, all of those things overwintered for me. Let's keep going so I can show you so many of these goodies that I have. Garden sharing is yet another way we can expand our gardens, but kind of for free. These elephant ears that I have here, they came from my friend. These canna lilies with the red variegation, which are my favorite, those came from my in-laws. So I have a lot of things in here that have been given to me from other people. Keep in mind, sometimes people need to get rid of things that don't fit in their gardens anymore. So even though we think we've just scored the jackpot, it really helps them out as well to give these things away. A lot of the items I have in here are just like that, given to me from other people, or like I said, dividing up my own perennials. This boardwalk, of course, I did a video dedicated just to this boardwalk, was 100% made out of recycled wood, largely pallet wood. And in that video, I had shown you or told you that I only had enough pallet wood stored up to basically get about half of this done. But I believe that the universe provides when we do need something. And I had said, I have to procure more pallets in order to get this project done and finish this walkway. And then my husband and I arrived at our friend's house just to see all of this wood, fence posts, just like my fence, laid out. It hadn't been stained or anything. They were just replacing all their fence boards. I got to finish my walkway utilizing those boards. I'm filming this tour at sunset, which is something that I don't normally do, but I kind of thought the sunset vibes were going to be perfect for my secret garden. The only thing is, the sun is still very powerful in a lot of these shots, so right now I'm going to start at the other end of the pathway where we have some shade and then work our way that direction. Let me show you how I've started this thing off. For this end of the garden closest to the greenhouse, I had started a pathway that had gravel and stepping stones from the greenhouse coming this direction. You can see where my blue boards end right behind me. I am up in the air right now if I want to do the blue boards the rest of the way until they meet the gravel, or do gravel in this space as well. This bistro table is just a fun little addition to the garden. I love having a vase of fresh flowers cut from another area of the garden to just display right here. My seahorse, he was in a different part of the garden as well. He was hanging on a fence previously, but this area is so much more vacation vibes, coastal vibes, beach vibes, and all of that, that I wanted to bring him back in this direction. I have more of my red dipladenia because that is like my best pot filler. It does great in the heat. It does great with this blazing sun, all of that. It looks just awesome all the time with its vibrant color. Now let's get to the good stuff and get you on the boardwalk over here. Because of the vibe I was going for, I have all of my best tropical goodies out here. So I have cordyline, which has lived with me for years at this point, and I just overwinter it each year. So the cordyline is awesome because of this amazing color that it has. The purple heart that's here is a succulent style plant. I could put it in the ground or in a pot. It's very versatile and grows prolifically for me. So I happen to have it as a pot filler here, and this pot is huge, and the purple heart is huge, and it just drapes out beautifully. I continue the tropical vibe as we head this direction, so let's go that way. I have more canna lilies over here. They might not look like much right now, but these babies are going to probably end up being 8 feet tall with beautiful, even taller orange flowers. I have a whole nother grouping of those same canna lilies right over here. Just a view from the pool side for a moment. These are the canna lilies that I was just showing you along the fence there that are pretty low. This grouping obviously has gotten taller, but I wanted to show you how I have 2 blooms, or 2 buds. Oh my gosh, I can barely reach that one. 2 buds already. So these are going to be some tall babies. These will probably be open in the next 2 days. Here I have a pygmy date palm. This has also lived with me for years, and I just keep overwintering it and then popping it back into my landscape wherever I feel like. I did put a snake plant into the ground right here. I can propagate snake plants very easily, and I had a lot of snake plant babies to play with, so I have some of them inserted into pots, and this one I just decided to put in the ground. It's not going to survive the winter here, but we're going to kind of like test around and see what happens. This hibiscus right here with the creeping Jenny in the pot, same deal as a lot of these other things. I've had it for a long time. I can overwinter hibiscus, and it actually, the tropical style, I can keep as a perennial, but it takes a lot longer to get started once the growing season begins again. So this one here lost all of its leaves in the overwintering process, which can be very daunting and kind of scary. But when spring started to emerge again, I just did a really hard prune on the whole thing, leafed out beautifully, and this is the Fiesta hibiscus, which is my absolute favorite because of the multicolors in the flowers. You are going to laugh at this, but this is my poinsettia, one of my poinsettias from Christmas time. And they are tropical plants, so I thought, well, there's a chance I might be able to keep it, and so far so good. Just past my poinsettia here, I have daylilies. Talk about a prolific spreader. Daylilies are the type of perennial that I love to dig up and divide and put in other places in my yard. So I have a dark red. I have absolutely no idea what the name of it is, but it just came from another part in the yard. And this one I happen to have the tag for, and this is called Happy Returns Daylily. Happy Returns, it's like you can't even go wrong with a name like that. Right here I have geraniums in an adorable fish planter, which I also got from a friend. I had gotten the geraniums as part of an arrangement that was on clearance, and I just kind of took it apart. I have red geraniums, white ones, and then I have the drapers that I just put into a pot to hang from my fence. So clearance plants are not to be overlooked as long as they don't look too damaged. You know what I'm saying? Using things you already have and you can divide up and make more of them, or divide up and add them to different parts of your yard, is so key. This dianthus right here that I have in these little pots came in one big arrangement again on the clearance rack. So I was able to divide them up. I put a bunch in the ground. I put 2 bunches right here. I mean, just amazing. This is a different style of cordyline, unlike the one that's the magenta pink over there. This one, unlike that one, is a perennial for me, so I can keep this in the ground all the time. I simply dug this out of my landscape in a different area that was kind of getting crowded and didn't need this anymore, and added this over here. The snake plants, as I said, many snake plant babies, so I put this into a terracotta pot. Another little something to add into the landscape. Right here, I have a pineapple plant. The pineapple plant is technically considered an indoor plant, and I got it over the winter when there was an indoor plant sale. And of course, everybody's chomping at the bit to be out in the garden, so I had to get this. The pineapple is actually the flower on this plant, and once the plant flowers, the plant will ultimately die. However, it does produce baby pups. This is one of the pups, and this pineapple actually came off of the parent that bloomed, and this is all that I have left of it. But it was so adorable, I thought I could still keep it out here just for the look of it. As I said, a little dangle from the fence was just a little bit more interest up here. Over here, more elephant ears. They grow sort of weedy, if you don't mind me saying so. More snake plants tucked into the back of this pot here. Oh my gosh, more variegated canna lilies. The variegated cannas are my absolute favorite. So these are gonna flower tall, orange flowers too. This little goodie came from TJ Maxx or Home Goods or something. So sometimes you can even shop at those places and get like garden decor or statuary for a really good price. I really want you to join me over here for the caladium show. Oh, caladiums are so super cool. They're also tropical plants. My local nursery had them on sale, so I decided I needed to get them. First of all, I very much like to balance out my colors, so since I had the blue and lots of blue over here, I wanted to make sure I warmed up the blue with some warm toned flowers. And caladiums are just gorgeous. I, however, am not exactly sure which kind these are because they were not labeled that way, so I'm not sure how sun tolerant they are, which is why I put them behind my waterfall. My waterfall is a great barrier. People from the pool can't see over here so much, which keeps this area very private. We should get like kind of just like this dappled sun in the afternoon, so I'm hoping that's what they want. And then I have this lemon coral sedum that just spreads like wildfire everywhere, so I just took parts of that out of my yard and put that here. Over here, looking a little wimpy, are my blanket flowers. They just look wimpy because I literally just took them out of the ground from a different area. These blanket flowers grow wild at the beach here. Again, I am in coastal North Carolina. I do have sandy soil, so these guys just love it. I have lots of blanket flowers all over my yard. All these blanket flowers right here, this is much more indicative of what they look like in my yard. Big, poofy bunches of beautiful flowers. Not so wimpy like the ones over there. And then right here I have a piece of coral that actually is carved out with a little hole in the center, and in it I just put some succulents. So that was just a little fun coastal touch. Right here are my 2 rows of Sharons. I put them here because I want the height to kind of cover the sight lines to the fence. This one is a pink chiffon. This is a Proven Winners that I purchased. This one here was given to me from my cousin. See, I love getting things from other people's gardens. And so I actually have absolutely no idea what color the flowers will be on that one. So we'll see, but I will like anything. More of my awesome Dipladenia, and this one had overwintered for me last year, and yes, it successfully bloomed all winter long in the greenhouse. Brought it outside and it never skipped a beat, so that's great. And then, like I said, my beloved canna lilies with the variegated foliage that don't even need flowers to allow them to be this gorgeous. But you can see that I have some buds here. So again, any day now, these guys are just gonna look amazing. So there you are at the waterfall. So if anybody was inside the pool, the waterfall would be preventing them from seeing any of the goodies over here. So you see, secret garden. We're back more toward the beginning again, and the sun is finally dipping below house level, so I think we have a better picture right now. More caladiums right here. Again, they are just beautiful with their coloring, and especially against my dark mulch, and then, as I said, the blue boards. I do have some oyster plant or Moses in the cradle. I have this in the ground. I also have this in multiple pots. Just another little something to enjoy with some variegated foliage and a purple underneath. And on this side, just to finish things off, I have some gorgeous dianthus, which is just a beautiful magenta color. Dianthus is a perennial for me here in Zone 8. And I also have a decorative pepper plant over here, which I do not believe that one's gonna be hardy. Of course, I do have the painting of the wave that I had done. I had painted that with artist acrylic paint on plywood. So I didn't use an exterior paint, but I did seal it with many coats of sealant. So hopefully it'll be okay out here. I mean, I guess worst case scenario is I'd have to paint another one if something happens to that. I hope I showed you everything I wanted to. I had been looking forward to doing this for such a long time. I hope you enjoyed the beauties that I have. A lot of them are tropical in nature, but they're just vibey, just beautiful, wonderful vibes in these plants and flowers. Not to mention the fact that I just love the atmosphere back here. I love the boardwalk. Can you tell? I'm very excited. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and happy planting.